Joining us online is Veronica T from the kick-ass band White Collar Sideshow. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having us. This is awesome.
Indeed, it's already a party.
That's your new track. Wow. You guys just keep putting out great material. Tell us a little bit about that song. I heard you wrote it in Brazil or something?
Yeah. We were touring in Brazil on our second album. It was called The Witch Hunt. And Chris Basford was the producer on that album, and also the producer on our last album, who also has worked with like Tommy Lee and Rob Zombie and Avril Lavigne and a lot of different folks.
Just did Daughtry's.
Anyway, so that kind of opened up a new world for us when we were able to travel and tour. And so we were traveling in Brazil, and of course we don't speak Portuguese fluently, so you got a lot of time on your hands, and started writing songs down there and just got in a trance, really, and wrote a whole album. And this was one of the first songs, and it's basically about looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, man, am I really going to do something with my life, or do I just walk around like I have tombstones for eyes? Am I just a slave to consumption and the white noise and the static to everything else on this planet,
Veronica, now this is all part of the same album with My Workplaces and Like Spiders Weave?
Yes, absolutely. So we did record a Brazil version of this song while we were down in Brazil at the Family Mob studio with Converse Rubber Tracks, which was a really cool opportunity. And then we went to this wedding, and the wedding videographer was like, hey, can we record a music video? So we did a whole Brazil version of the song recording and the video, but then we wanted to do a U.S. version as well. So the Brazil version is a hidden track on that album. But then, of course, this version is track 9.
So it's like at the end of the album, like I think Nirvana did that with Nevermind. They put like some track at the end of the album.
The end,
yeah, it's classic.
In the video, your heroine seems like she's met her fate, and she gets pushed off this building, and it seems like it's going to be the end. But wait, there's more.
All your videos, they seem to tie into each other. That's purposely done, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We've always done concept albums, which has been really heartbreaking for us to watch the evolution of music and see how now songs are just released as singles and people don't necessarily even have albums anymore, and a concept album is extremely hard to come across, but that's just what we've been inspired by and what we love, and so that's what we've always done. I will say, though, our next album, I think we are just going to go ahead and release as singles because that's just the trend. The videos will still all tie together like they always do, but
I'm super inspired by like Pink Floyd The Wall and a lot of the theatrics by the Doors, but even like Queensrÿche, like just to do full concepts. I feel like when we were doing it, it makes the album seem like you can show people more of what's going on inside your head.
Now, when you're writing the tunes, you guys just sit down as a couple and just say, hey, I got this really cool bass line, or man, I've got these great lyrics. How do you come up with the tracks?
Man, usually it's just me sitting down, coming up with tracks.
In front of a computer.
Yeah, in front of a computer, going through loops and different things. Or that's how it has been the last 3 albums. The newer music, though, Veronica and I are sitting down and writing a lot more together.
And you have a co-writer.
Yeah, and I have a co-writer. His name is Steele Dortch, and he's been the engineer.
Okay, wait, let me tell you this name again. Steele Dortch. It's the coolest, and he's he can play guitar. He is the engineer at this studio. Just a cool dude, just became a dad. But what a cool name.
Yeah, right.
Steele Dortch. Anyway, sorry.
Man, that's a band in itself, right there. Just Dortch or something.
Anyway, I digress.
Yes, he's a co-writer with me on some of our newer tracks. And but yeah, man, I want to write with Veronica a lot more, and I think that's what we're blooming into, where she has been just a lot more of the creative part of the business end, and I've been the writer. Now I think we're starting to form more together after our last album.
I did just write a chorus to one of our new songs.
Yeah. So I think we're going in that direction, and I love that direction, actually.
How many albums you got right now?
Well, I Didn't Come Here to Die was our 3rd one, so it's our 3rd album and our 3rd film. So we do a film with every album as well. And it's been what is the background to our live show. So we edit the whole live show to the whole film. And so, if you order a CD and a DVD, you get the film, you get a hard copy of things. It's hard to kind of sell those things. So that's why we release every video as a single. because it's a story, and we want people to put the story pieces together themselves if they so choose to go that far in the puzzle.
That's really cool. So every album's got a video or like a movie to it.
Right.
Why don't you tell us each album what the concept behind the videos are, the movies?
Sure. Well, our first album was just kind of a self-titled white-collar sideshow. When we first started, we were 2 drummers and a bass, and it was all instrumental.
No vocals at all,
yeah.
other than just like monster movie clips.
Yeah, so it was very instrumental. The monster movie clips from different horror films were actually the vocal parts. So, it was very unique, very
avant-garde.
Yeah. So Blue Man Group meets Nine Inch Nails or Rob Zombie or something like that. And the film that we had playing behind us, we intertwined a lot of the old black and white horror films like Frankenstein, Jekyll and Hyde, with our own characters. And the first film actually was based on me struggling with porn addiction and different scenarios of what I would imagine myself or have struggled with in dealing with porn addiction. And so it was kind of this whole film on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like who am I in front of everyone else and who do I become when no one's looking? And so, yeah, you're traveling the country showing people the inside of your heart and your head. And then the second album is called The Witch Hunt. And that's the first time where we met producer Chris Basford, who had worked with Rob Zombie at that time. We recorded that album in 2010, I believe. And we recorded all the drums at Tommy Lee's house from Motley Crue.
No, 2011, because we were listening to 12 in there.
So he was
maybe it was 10. Anyway.
So Chris was the engineer of this.
At Tommy Lee's house.
The Atrium Studio.
Yeah.
And so we got to record drums there, which was just to see all of us Arkansas rednecks hanging out at this, Kardashian house. It was just awesome, man. It was killer. Anyway, that was the first time we had ever put vocals on our tracks. And Chris, our producer, challenged me because we were just going to pre-record them and be an instrumental band again. And he was like, "No way, dude. You're going to have to learn how to sing and play because it's not going to be cool unless you're doing it." And he's like, "I'm not going to record it unless you sing it and play it." And so really challenged me to have to learn how to sing and play. So our live show is Veronica on bass and vocals and myself on drums and vocals. The computer is our guitars and everything else we've done in the studio. Also runs our film, our lights, and everything else. So it's a very... The Witch Hunt was a big horror film based on the 7 Deadly Sins. I lost my little brother in a car accident in 2010 and wrote the album based on that whole situation of...
The emotions
of what you go through as a human being through a tragedy. And so difficult as it was, there is a happy ending to that film. And we always try to put some sort of spin in our films, as crazy sci-fi or horror as whatever they are, to actually point a picture back to ourselves and go, this is who we really are. It's not just about pointing fingers at everyone else. It's like, here's me in the mirror. And if you feel like this, you're not alone. Like, here's a story that maybe can help you realize that you're not alone on the planet even.
And your most recent album, from what I understand, you're putting an instrumental version of that out, right?
Yeah, we decided to do all of our tracks without vocals just to see if anybody could use them or just to see what we could do with those. I mean, they're so cool without the vocals as well. I mean, the layers of instrumentation, if you take the time to put headphones on, I really tried to do things here and there that you might not hear twice the same way.
It's so true. There's still, I feel like, times when he will point out a weird little layer that's hidden in the track that I'd never heard before. It's like a little bell or a little like scraping noise or something. He hides these things that we'll have like 90 layers in some of our songs. Mm-hmm. And so he hides little things in there. And so it's definitely fun to listen to with quality speakers or quality headphones.
So when you created the band, what gave you the inspiration to have this unorthodox lineup of drummer, bass, and the way you guys do things?
Sure. Well, when we first started, believe it or not, it was all based on a series of dreams. Veronica was managing a very large music company. I was teaching drums at the time, and I was having these crazy dreams. I would wake up every night. I was into horror films. I was struggling with, obviously, porn addiction at the time, and and just getting over other things. I've had 7 major lung operations in my life, so I had struggled with stuff way back in the past. And so I would wake up with just these crazy dreams, and I would write my dreams down. It became these kind of characters and these shows and these drum parts and these films. And so I would beg Veronica to, let's invest some money in these things. And she's like, dude, are you on drugs again? Like, no way. Like a chick in a cage and mask and
a pig guy.
And you're talking about writing songs about porn, and like, you're crazy. And but eventually over a few years, we actually met at church, and there was someone who inspired us at church that was like, look, in the creative world of the church, there's so many bits and pieces that fall through the cracks because it doesn't line up with other people's vision, or it's too crazy for people to understand. And that's kind of where we are. We've been on the fringes of the Christian world and on the fringes of, well,
the metal world,
and we just don't know where we belong. But we just love doing what we do, and we feel like
love people. And we
art
use
is
music.
for people.
Yeah, art's for people. Art's for everybody. We just use music as an excuse to hang out with people. And music, and then our tattoos. We both are very heavily tattooed. Our tattoo artist is one of our dear friends in Oklahoma. His name's Eddie Smith, and gives people ask you about your tattoos, and so it gives you an opportunity to start a legit conversation with somebody rather than just like surface level conversations that generally happen. Especially T likes to go deeper than that.
But I didn't realize putting the shows together, especially the creepy horror stuff. Obviously, when you put something together, you're so naive. You think everyone's gonna love it and gonna be so supportive, and what you don't realize is no one really believes in what you do more than you do.
Yep.
And it's how hard you work is what you get out of it, and you start to see that like-hearted people start to come together. And I feel like that's what White Collar Sideshow is, from our first album to where it is now. It's just a tribe of people who are like-minded, like-hearted, trying to figure out how to navigate through the world of confusion right now, and also trying to take baby steps to go further and use our stories and our art or whatever it is that we are good at or passionate about to help someone else realize they're not alone on the planet. I didn't know that our life was going to be this long.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we would have 3 albums and still be working on something else.
I mean,
Studio 221 has been very generous to us. Yeah. And I'm grateful for that.
I mean, I managed a multi-million-dollar company. We had a 4-bedroom house, 3 cars. We were living the absolute American dream, and we walked away from all of it, sold everything, moved into a little 20-foot RV, and everybody told us we were crazy. We actually did it during the housing market crash of 2008, which just makes it even crazier.
We've been on the road ever since.
Yeah, and we've touched 21 countries and 46 states together, and it's just been a whirlwind. Also, what's even really
signed
crazy,
up with Curtain Call.
Yeah, Curtain Call
a couple years ago.
For sure. Travis Joyner. I mean, all the people.
Our video guy is just unbelievable.
Incredible. But what people find even crazier is we have never charged for a show. We've never required a contract or a guarantee. We just, I don't know. It's just art really is for everybody, and we don't want to put a price tag on it where somebody might miss out on
being inspired to dream big
and challenged and encouraged. And somebody could come to our show and then go off and do greater, better, bigger things. And I don't want to put a price tag to keep somebody from having that opportunity.
So genuinely, there's people in our life that support us, that help us keep going, and it's just miraculous.
Do we still play a show in front of 7 people? Yeah, sometimes we do. But then sometimes we have these epic, awesome, big shows. But yeah, it's been a trip. It's been an adventure for sure.
If you each could pick one song that best represents White Collar Sideshow, what would it be? Each get a choice.
Well, I would have to say probably not my favorite song, but the one that best represents White Collar Sideshow, in my opinion, would be the song Fistful of Grace.
I knew it! Yeah. That was mine too.
It's on the newest album. It's the very last song on the newest album. And we released it as a single, I think 6 months ago, maybe not that long ago, but before Tombstones and before Like Spiders Weave. Maybe it was last year. Anyway, I feel like that song best represents us because that song starts off where you're defined by your past, And how do you get away from that? Is by just growing, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and looking for forgiveness and searching for grace and mercy.
And grace not for yourself, but also being willing to extend grace to other people, because we are so, we set these expectations for other people and for ourselves, and we just set ourselves up for failure. And I feel if people would just live with more grace, then it would be a much happier and peaceful world, and realizing we're all humans and we're all doing this life for the first time, and there really isn't a handbook, especially in the middle of a global pandemic. And I just feel like grace can go a long way.
Well, you guys are totally awesome. Why don't you give everybody where they can find you guys on the internet?
Good old whitecollarsideshow.com. I will tell you, in 2006, when he came to me and said he wanted to start this band, and it was going to be called White Collar Sideshow. It's based off of a lyric from Embodiment, a band out of Texas. And so I got on Google, back in 2006, and I did the parentheses, White Collar, and then Sideshow with one word as Sideshow, not two. And it came up with 0 results. And now if you search White Collar Sideshow, all of that stuff is generally pointed back to us.
Yeah.
So
if you just Google it, you'll find everything about us.
You'll find our creepiness for sure. And I've been really active on TikTok and Instagram Reels lately, so that's been fun.
And if you need something to donate to,
yeah, we actually are a nonprofit, and so we have we participate in Giving Tuesday, and then Arkansas does a big fundraiser every year for nonprofits and people that just support us monthly, that just want to help us and keep us going.
Hey, by the way, both of us just became members of the Grammy Academy.
Oh, good job! That's awesome. Now you can vote for yourself.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we sure did last year. T became a member last year, and I became a member this year. But we did submit this album, and he did vote for it. Of course, It didn't get nominated, but we did get a Grammy vote for sure.
It's awesome to see insight on all of those things, though.
Right.
And man, to be able to be at a level where you can actually even Zoom with different people to gain more knowledge.
Hey, and I was a slacker, and I didn't offer anything for the fundraiser, but if it's not too late, I would love to do both of our physical albums, both CDs of our physical CDs as well as a T-shirt. I don't know how that would work on y'all's end, but we're happy to do that.
I'll contact you after the fundraiser, and we'll make that happen. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Veronica and T from White Collar Sideshow.